Welcome. We, 26 female and 28 male, started dating in October 2019. I was never a sociable person, nor did I make friends easily. So my boyfriend started giving me tips and tactics to be able to socialize and maybe make friends. My boyfriend is a completely outgoing and extroverted person, and we are the complete opposite. I don't like to start conversations. I don't want to walk looking up, nor was I interested in expanding my circle social beyond my family and boyfriend. I'm an introvert, and I do admit sometimes our personalities clashed. In 2021, I started my postgraduate program, and always sat alone in the back in class. Until after a little time, a classmate began to talk to me and include me in her group. I was very happy, and each time I began to hang out with them more, my boyfriend told me that he saw a few red flags in them and that maybe I shouldn't keep hanging out with that group so much. I didn't listen to him. I was happy because for the first time in my life, I belonged to a clique. So I continued to hang out with them and started sidelining my boyfriend for going with them. They began to plant things in my mind. They said I was settling for my boyfriend. They said I could do better and not some broke guy still finishing up his studies. My boyfriend works as a research assistant while he's enrolled in the PhD program, so yeah, he isn't making bank. But I was fine with it because neither was I. They said I would be old by the time he gets his doctorate and starts scrambling to build a nice life for us. I'm very gullible and all these things got to my head, so I subconsciously started longing for a wealthier guy who's already figured his shit out. At this point, we were constantly going out to trendy places around the university. And on one of those days, my friend set me up with a friend of a friend, 32 male. He was a corporate attorney, so my friend said he was rolling in dough. We hit it up immediately and soon started a relationship. About a week in, we slept together, and somehow still at that point, I hadn't found the right moment to sit my boyfriend down and call it quits with him. I didn't mean to start another relationship while still with my boyfriend, but it sort of happened. And all this time, I was looking for an opening to have the talk with boyfriend. 3 days ago, however, I spent a few hours at the attorney guy's house. And when I was leaving in the evening, a motorbike sped past the house, did a U-turn, and stopped right across the house on the other side of the street. I was saying goodbye to attorney guy and didn't pay much attention until I saw the guy in the back taking his helmet off and walking towards me. You can probably guess it now, it was my boyfriend. I'm not going to go into details here, but it was a total shit show. My boyfriend caused a scene and attorney guy tried to dissipate the situation until he learned that it was my boyfriend. He was horrified to learn that I was in another relationship. My boyfriend's friend who rode the bike also got involved. Neighbors were watching, and it was pretty embarrassing to be public shamed by 3 men. Currently, me and my boyfriend have separated temporarily. I've moved into a nearby hostel. It's a pretty rundown place, but the only place that could take me on such short notice. My boyfriend and his friend didn't give me much time to pack my things, so I really only have one duffel bag full of items. My boyfriend said he wasn't letting me in again and to pack everything, but I'm determined to get back in. I haven't given up on my relationship just yet. I've contacted my friends, but currently none of them can take me in. I've also tried contacting the attorney guy, but he's unreachable. I feel like he's a lost cause at this point anyway, so I'm not going to be a pushover. I've tried to strike up a conversation with my boyfriend before I left our apartment, but he said he wasn't interested. I've been a wreck the past few days. I'm drinking non-stop and I can't think straight. To think a month ago, I was living in an apartment, had a boyfriend and a future with him makes me feel more depressed. I've screwed my life. I want my old life back so much. I think none of these would have happened if I wasn't so gullible. If I had only broken up with my boyfriend before I started dating the attorney, I wouldn't be branded a hoe yet. But I guess I wasn't sure if I wanted out of my relationship with my boyfriend. And wasn't sure the new relationship was going to work out either. It was never my intention to cheat on either man. I was serious about both relationships. I need some support to navigate the situation, and that's why I'm here. Please don't be rude. Edit, my friends aren't available. They left on a trip yesterday. I was to go on it too, but I couldn't find the energy to do so. They had all booked rooms, so that's why they couldn't not go. Comments. The problem is that it's not something that can necessarily be solved just by talking. Of course, by talking and taking your time, trust can be restored. But the problem is that he explicitly said that he did not want her anymore. Some people will be understanding because I think her intention wasn't to cheat. But many other people do not tolerate this. If her boyfriend is one of those people, which he appears to be, then the solution can't come from just talking, but rather that she should be willing to get help, to sort out her problems, and he needs to support her and be patient while she does it. The truth is that I can simply say that they just have to discuss it and solve it somehow by talking and trying to regain trust. And if it can't be done anymore, well, then there's no other choice but to end the relationship. More than you, it depends on him and what he's willing to let pass by his limits. He may be turned off that you tried monkey branching, and that's fine. It's very acceptable because trust is very important in a relationship. Although it's also worth considering, if you were unhappy and was considering leaving him, then it means you were already checked out. So I don't know how much of it can be considered cheating. And on the other hand, you should not go back just because monkey branching failed. Unless you really want to stay with your boyfriend. If you think he doesn't suit your standards, then better to leave, to be honest. Story 2. I was friends with my best friend for about 3.5 years before he told me his feelings for me. Soon after that, we started dating. We were both not very affectionate people and never even kissed. He was completely inexperienced as he had never had a girlfriend before. I had been in intimate relationships before. He didn't try to do anything sexual with me, and this made me question if he found me attractive or not. I started talking to a guy online last year, October, and we found we were attracted to each other. We met up about a month after and started dating and having sex. I didn't tell either about the other. Eventually, my best friend found out I was cheating on him through a combination of guesswork and me trying to end the relationship. I honestly didn't feel connected to him at all because we barely saw one another. However, I never told my new boyfriend about it. In fact, I lied and said that I had ended the relationship with my best friend boyfriend a month before we started talking in October. Last night, my ex-boyfriend, ex-best friend contacted me, and we had a heart-to-heart discussion about what happened. I had apologized to him for my actions after the incident a few months ago. He did forgive me. I'm now at a loss of what I should do. Talking to my ex-best friend brought back so many emotions and feelings of guilt I didn't realize I still had. I don't know if I should tell my new boyfriend that I was still with my other boyfriend best friend when we started dating for at least 4 months into the relationship. This might ruin our 8-month relationship, and I'm not willing for that to happen. There are also other forces at work, and I'm worried that karma might come back to get me for what I've done in the past. Edit. I have changed my ways, and now I would never want to cheat again. I know for a fact that he would leave me if I confessed to cheating. But yes, I would expect him to be honest if he had done something like this. However, I would also leave him if he had done what I did. Betraying your partner through infidelity is a significant breach of trust. But the situation may even become worse when he inevitably discovers that you didn't disclose the truth immediately. If you wished for him to stay with you despite the infidelity, it would have been better not to cheat on him in the first place. There's no way to undo the infidelity now, unless you can turn back time. Comments. I'm gonna go with the uncomfortable answer and say communicate honestly. Your relationship is still fairly young, and you're still in a critical period where you're laying the foundation for solid communication and trust for wherever things might go. Odds are, if you approach conflict as a source of learning and growth because you're both part of the same team, it's not nearly as awful as the idea of conflict may seem. 2 things to consider. 1, if he was in the same boat, would you want him to own up to it and tell you? And 2, if you feel guilty and don't want to have any secrets to hide, don't hide any secrets. Personally, I would want to give my partner their fair shot at an honest relationship. So if anything threatens to strain it, I would want both my partner and me to be on the same page so we can work together. See how to approach things, and then learn from the experience and move forward with mutual respect and clear consciences. Congratulations! You're learning that actions have consequences. You think betraying him by cheating alone was bad. Wait until he finds out, and he will find out. This is not a question of if, but when. That you didn't even tell him about it right away. If you didn't want him to leave you for cheating on him, you shouldn't have cheated on him.